Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir-uttama-shloke bhaktir-bhavati naistiki Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurun-militam yena Tasmai Shri-gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Tadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Dandavat. Welcome everybody. I keep Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. By Guru and Krishna's mercy, from today we are starting hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in English. So we've been hearing in different languages. So from today, we'll start. Now, before we start Bhagavatam, like I said, first, these classes will happen on Saturday and Sunday, Saturday between 3 to 4 and Sunday between 8 to 9 a.m. Okay, so that before everybody gets busy with their Sunday programs, so you can attend. Otherwise, we'll anyway put up the recordings so you can hear from the recordings. So before we can start Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, so we should understand who can enter into Bhagavatam, what is the mood for entry, which I will elaborate more in the first 3 verses, which are called the Mangalacharan of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. But generally we know that, when we come into spiritual life, we start with ABCD. ABCD of spiritual life is Bhagavad Gita. And what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita? What stage should we have come? If you have actually read Bhagavad Gita, to what stage should we have come? Okay, there's Mataji here, Madhurya Mataji, who's attending a class directly. So she's saying surrender to Krishna. What about others? Any other answers? What is it that what is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita? If you have read Bhagavad Gita, what state should we be in? Because that state of mind is the entrance into Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So we have to understand that we have to actually, enter into that state of consciousness. So Bhagavad Gita, many people say that we've read Bhagavad Gita, but if we have read Bhagavad Gita, we should have, first thing, we should have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. That is the first thing. Once we accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not as some ordinary, person, great human being, etc., etc., that is the first step, is that we should have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. So Ritira Mataji is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mamekam Shanam Raja. So full surrender. Now, full surrender. Full surrender means what? Can anybody say? What does full surrender mean? See, like I said, this class is going to be a little bit more interactive. So I request devotees to also read and participate.
Full surrenderance means accepting Krishna as whole and soul, and there is nothing more than Krishna in the world, I feel.
Okay. Nothing more than Krishna, depending wholly and solely on Lord. Okay, so let me give a more technical answer. Technical answer of Sharanagati is Anukulyasya Sankalpaha, Pratikulyasya Varjanam, Rakshishyati iti Vishvaso, Optrutve Varnam Tata, Atmanikshepa, Karpanyo, Shadvida Sharanagati. So Sharanagati doesn't mean some vague thought. What does wholly and solely mean? We have to have, see, our problem is that we need guidance for practical action. We can't have some theoretical guidance. Now, what does wholly and solely mean? So people might misunderstand. Okay, wholly and solely means that I have a health problem, I will not go to the doctor. No, this is not wholly and solely. This is bringing Krishna to do service for us. Wholly and solely means that we have to understand. So here in Hari Bhakti Vilas, this beautiful framework has been given. This framework is what we have to use. So one who is fully surrendered means that he or she is actively applying this framework in their life. Now, what does this mean? This framework, Anukulyasya Sankalpaha. Whatever is favorable to Krishna consciousness, one should engage. Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Whatever is not favorable to Krishna consciousness, one must give up. Then Rakshishyati iti Vishvaso. Now, when we are doing this acceptance rejection process, accepting things favorable, rejecting things not favorable, then we might have a doubt saying that, I am accepting. Krishna is saying, don't do demigod worship. Krishna is saying, don't eat anything else. I'm accepting all this. And then I'm rejecting association of my relatives. I'm not, becoming difficult for me to attend functions, etc., etc. Then what is Krishna saying? Rakshishati, Bhakti Vilas says, Rakshishati Vishwasa. It's okay. Krishna will protect. What? From anything. From relatives getting upset with us, from something else happening, whatever it is. But before that, Krishna is saying, do Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Vardhanam. Now, without doing Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Vardhanam, if we say, Krishna, protect me, then we are bringing Krishna into our service. We should understand these finer aspects of Tattva. So we should do our duty. Okay. So we should accept, reject appropriately. Whatever is favorable, accept. Whatever is not favorable, reject. Then Rakshishiti Vishwa. So have the faith, complete faith that Krishna will protect. Meaning that we might do anything when we are doing this acceptance, rejection. The only person we depend on in this world, in this whole creation, is Krishna. We depend on him. We don't we depend, meaning like not like we go to Krishna and say, Krishna, I have a problem, and we tell our problem and say, Krishna, you didn't give me any answer at all. This is not. That means Krishna is saying, you do your worldly things, whatever you need to do, you do. I am protecting you. I will protect. Which means that the doctor we go to, or some lawyer we go to, or whatever, they are not going to protect us. Krishna will protect us. So Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso. Vishwasa. So this trust has to be there. We should have full trust saying that Krishna is going to protect me. Now, how Krishna is going to protect me, I don't know. That Krishna only knows. Because he is the Supreme Lord. He knows what needs to be done to protect me. This also is trust. Okay, so we should trust Krishna, that Krishna is going to protect. Now the next one is also, these things require a lot of, see, that is why we should understand. Prabhupada once asked, saying that who is more important, Pustaka Bhagavatam or Vyakti Bhagavatam? Because there are two Bhagavatams. It's a Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. I'll explain this. So there's a person Bhagavatam also, and there is the Grantha book Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada once asked his disciples, saying that which is more important? So everybody said book Grantha Bhagavatam. Prabhupada said no, it is actually the Vyakti Bhagavatam, the person Bhagavatam. Why? Because he will twist our ears if we are doing something wrong. Which means what? Actually, see, these aspects of spiritual life, it requires us to reach certain level of purity to understand how to apply them in our life. Otherwise we'll be whimsically thinking about some philosophy and doing wrong things. So here I'm going to say something. All these aspects, actually, it requires guidance. We should not, like, by ourselves try to learn these. We should learn from others who have gone through these phases in their life, and then take advice from them. So we should be clear, like, I have to do action. I should accept whatever is favorable, reject whatever is not favorable. Then I have to depend on Krishna. I have to have full faith, saying that Krishna is the protector. Okay, then Goptritve Varnam Tata. Now what does Goptritve Varnam Tata means? That am I the maintainer of the house? I'm going, earning money, etc. I'm doing my cooking, I'm doing all this. Am I the maintainer? Am I the doer? No, I am not the maintainer. He is the maintainer. And this is the whole concept of fully depending on Krishna. Depending on Krishna means, Krishna, I'm doing my work, but whatever is going to happen in my life, I am depending on you. So whether he is going to give me some money, whether he is going to give me promotion, actually Bhagavatam also says, if something comes to a sadhu of its own accord, sadhu doesn't reject. So for example, if Krishna gives us a promotion, we don't reject it. Okay, we didn't ask for it. We didn't go and ask for a promotion. Promotion came, okay, we take it. If promotion came by itself, money came by itself, we take it. Why? Because we want to use everything in Krishna's service. Okay. Many a times, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he said, like, some people I tell them to do higher studies. Some people I tell them not to do. Because based on their situation, if somebody does higher studies, they can, this is Maharaj saying, they can do, they can get a better job, they can get money, more money, and then they can, if they are fixed, then they can give up also grasta and move into, full-time service, etc. But he will recommend based on knowing the person. That is why this Pustaka Bhagavata, more than Pustaka Bhagavata, Vyakti Bhagavata is important, because we cannot be taking these decisions on by ourselves. But we are solely dependent on Krishna. Okay, Krishna, I'm depending on you. You took away something from me. Okay, that's fine. That is also your decision. You are giving something. Okay, that is also your decision. Everything is yours. I am simply depending on you. So complete dependence. He is the maintainer. He will take care of things. We are not the doers. We are not the maintainers. Okay. And then most important two things. So these two things are very difficult to understand. Goptriti Varnam Tata Atmanikshepa or Atmanivedana. Surrendering myself to the Lord. Now, what does this surrendering mean? Surrender means that actually there's some beautiful lines in Jaiva Dharma. I can't recollect. Anyway, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually has written a series of like songs, Sharanagati. So in that, he says actually this Atma Nikshepa means like literally putting ourselves at the lotus feet of the Lord and just being a servant. Just I am the servant. Okay. So I am in this house. Okay. Whose house is it? Krishna's house. What is my role? I am watchman. Okay. I am given the responsibility of taking care of this house and making sure that all the people there are taken care, etc. So I am just a servant. So the mood is that Krishna, I am your servant. I am ready to do anything in your service. So nothing for personal consideration. Nothing for personal consideration, but everything for Krishna's consideration. Even if we are maintaining our body, it is not for us. It is for Krishna, Guru and Krishna. So completely our only whole soul focus must be only this, nothing else. This is Atma Nikshepa. We actually literally offer ourselves to Krishna. There is one many years back. Once I had seen one picture of Srila Prabhupada. He's pointing his finger like this, okay, to the person who is seeing the picture and saying, give this life to Krishna. Okay, I saw this picture, I mean, many years back, and I thought, oh my God, I mean, Prabhupada is saying this. He's literally telling this to me. I mean, whether we take it like that or not, that is again personal views, right? But I saw that that finger is directly pointing at me, right? And I saw that picture and said, Prabhupada is saying, give this life to Krishna. This is Atma Nivedanam. So we should come to this platform, and this will not happen overnight. This should not happen overnight. This should not happen in a whimsical manner. Just tomorrow morning we get up and say, okay, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to just resign and become like, you know, Bikari. No. See, we should also understand there is a thin line between being surrendered and being whimsical and irresponsible. Okay. So, like, for example, my Guru Maharaj says, you know, whenever I had the good fortune of driving him many years back when he used to, you know, visit Bangalore, I used to drive him. And, you know, because I used to drive, first thing, when he sits in the car, first thing he does is he puts his seat belt. His servant will put the seat belt. And then, you know, if in case the person who is driving is not putting seat belt, Maharaj will say, stop, don't start the car, wear your seat belt first. And he was telling one thing that, you know, somebody somewhere in the Western world saying, Maharaj, some, you know, very casual, I can't imagine how somebody can speak like this to Maharaj, but what is it casually? Maharaj, Narsimdev will protect me. Then Maharaj told him saying, oh, so you want Narsimdev to serve you. So you do your, so this is not surrenderance, this is foolishness, Maharaj said. So we have to understand saying that there is a very thin line between surrender and acting, you know, whimsically or, you know, like impractical, for example. So these things we have to learn. We cannot just, of course, initially we will have a lot of josh to do all this, etc., etc. But we should understand these principles very, very clearly. That is why the Sharanagati doesn't happen just like that, right? And it takes time. Takes time. And finally, in this verse, it is said, most important, Karpanya. Karpanya means meek and lowly. We have to be meek and we should consider ourselves the most low person, low standard, low quality, nothing, useless, Trinadapi. In each and every dealing in our life, we should demonstrate this meek and lowliness. Lowly, lowly, low. Not lonely, lowly. So these 6 aspects, so if somebody is saying that Sarva Dharman Parityaja, these are the 6 aspects one has to follow day in and day out in their life. 6 aspects. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshishati vishwaso. We might be going through the biggest of troubles in our life, but we should have confidence. No, Krishna will take care of me. Oh, I don't know. So Prabhupada, actually, we read this, you know, in Bhagavad Gita, we were finishing the last, we were reading the last section somewhere. Prabhupada says, the life of a Krishna conscious devotee is full of adventure. He said it is like exciting. Life is exciting. Why? Because Maya has her own, you know, weapons that she'll be throwing, our own karma phala. Everything keeps coming in our way. And we don't know how Krishna will protect us. What direction he will give us. We don't know. So it's an exciting life for a devotee. I was thinking why Prabhupada is saying that, because he's an adventurous kind of person. That is why at 70 years he went and created, you know, worldwide movement. I was thinking, you know, I'm like such a, you know, covered kind of person. I thought like, okay, Prabhupada is saying so excitement and I'm feeling fear. So that means that, it's a nature change. It's different, but Prabhupada's mood is different. Saying depend on Krishna, take up all the adventures that you can do for serving Krishna, and Krishna will protect you. Goptrute Varnam Tata, he is maintaining, don't fear. Krishna is saying, Mahasucha, don't fear. I will protect, I will maintain you. Don't fear. Again, not whimsical. Okay, somebody has responsibilities, have to take care of family, have monthly expenses, etc. without thinking one thing, just give up everything. No, that is whimsical. Okay, so we have to be very, very calculated. We have to think. Basically, Krishna has given us brains. We need to use our brains. Take as much possible logical decision. Something can be transcendental, which are not going to have which can not negatively impact. Because if we take too much transcendental decision, it might be pratikulya. It might become against our bhakti, which means we might lose peace of mind to do bhakti. So many other repercussions might happen. So we have to be very careful understanding these principles. So Goptrutva Varnam Tata, Atma Nikshapa, Krishna's servant, that's it. No personal consideration. Body, mind, money, everything is not for personal, for Krishna, Guru and Krishna, sir. And Karpanya. This Karpanya is so important that without that we have no hopes of getting anywhere close to the spiritual world. I'm saying anywhere close to the spiritual world. Forget about entering spiritual world. We cannot even get anywhere close to the spiritual world. We cannot even really get anywhere close to Shuddha Bhakti. And what does this Karpanya mean? Today, this is also grossly misunderstood. Many people think just external, pranam, literally they'll be falling at the other person's feet. Yes, that is external humility, but we need internal humility. And Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita says, humility means willingness to follow instructions. That is humility. Meaning if somebody says, do this, our willingness to do it is humility. If Hanuman was a great devotee and said, okay, go and, jump across the ocean, so many yojanas. Okay, then he went, then said, okay, I have to burn Lanka. At that time, Hanuman could have thought, burning Lanka, this is not Trinadapi. I am not being meek and lowly. I have to become very meek and lowly. No, for Lord Rama's case, that is meek and lowly. Burning up Lanka was meek and lowly. So we should understand this is not just some external, it is internal mood. It is an internal mood of being, I'm nobody. Because I'm the dog of the Vaishnava, the Vaishnava says, do this, I should simply do it. That's it. That is humility. And Krishna has given instructions in Bhagavad Gita, Guru, Srila Prabhupada has given, then Guru gives. All this we should factor in, and not that, okay, this one I think is nice, interesting. I will take this. This one, no, I don't quite like this instruction. I'm rejecting it. Not like that. Full surrender means no bringing in our discretion, our, whatever, like all kinds of crazy ideas into the picture, right? So we have to simply follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. So this is full surrender. Now one who does full surrender, what does he do? Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskar. So this is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is knowing Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I surrender fully to Krishna. I engage in his service. Which means what? That we become a devotee. We become a devotee by reading Bhagavad Gita. One has to become a devotee. If one becomes a devotee, then you can understand that he has read Bhagavad Gita. So there are so many scholars, gnanis, they say, okay, I have read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, what do you do in life? Bhakti will not come from their mouth. They will talk about all kinds of nonsense. But if somebody is not doing bhakti at the end of reading Bhagavad Gita, he is not read Bhagavad Gita. Actually, this whole thing, first 6 chapters, Krishna is discussing karma. Last 6 chapters is discussing Gnana. But this Gnana is not Nirakara Gnana. This is Krishna Gnana, which will make us detach ourselves from this material world, bring us closer to Krishna. So it is Bhakti Unmukha. It actually facilitates us to become devotees. And this karma, karma yoga, this is not for devotees. Karma yoga is not for devotees. Karma yoga means what? Karma yoga basically means that somebody has a propensity to do work. He will do work, and as a matter of principle or rule, vidhi, he will offer some result to Krishna. This is karma yoga. Now, Krishna talks about this also in Bhagavad Gita. So, if somebody says, no, I've read Bhagavad Gita, karmanyevadikaraste, I'm doing my duty, I am not attached to my result, I'm offering the result, something, I give donation every. This is not bhakti. This is simply karma yoga. And this doesn't please Krishna. This doesn't please Krishna. So, unless we come to the platform of bhakti, even if you're offering our earnings to Krishna, it should be with love, saying that Krishna, it is for your service. It's not for some, I am not interested in some Vedic in Vidhi. If I offer, I'll get so much in return. No, I'm not interested in business. So when we do that, then that is not karma. That is bhakti. So these things we have to understand. So Bhagavad Gita, properly understanding Bhagavad Gita brings us to the surrender, brings us to becoming a devotee. So once we have become a devotee, then what is the next stage? We have to become a pure devotee. We have to become a pure devotee. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the grantha for becoming Paramahamsas. Paramahamsa Samhita. So this is the process for us to become pure devotees, to actually achieve love of Krishna. Bhagavatam is so potent that it can actually give us love of Krishna. Prema. Okay, and then the next stage is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is to become a perfect pure devotee. Meaning what? We should understand dealings of between devotees, how devotees deal with other devotees, how to surrender life. These things we will understand more perfectly when we understand Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and of course we will understand Madhurya Prema. So that is the pinnacle. That is really, I mean, only after we have read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, multiple times, can we actually enter into the mood of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because it doesn't mean that we should not read. So first time we read Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then again we start Bhagavad Gita, we should read every day, at least one page, something, every day. It cannot wait for a cycle to get complete. Then Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, if somebody has only 1 hour of reading time every day, at least 1 hour of reading time, then we can do Bhagavatam, then finish Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita, then again come back to Bhagavatam and so on. But more fortunate people who can have 2 time slots in a day for reading should read both these parallelly. As in after the first reading. First time we finish Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. After that, we will read both of them parallelly. That is ideal. Okay, so Bhagavatam brings us to the stage of pure devotional service. At the stage of Bhagavad Gita, we might not be pure devotees. We might just be devotees, which means that we've surrendered to Krishna. We're not going to go to any demigods, right? Whatever it is, we come to Krishna, but we might still have some desires, etc., which is okay. Because we hear akama sarvakama va mokshakama udaradihiti prena bhakti yogena jeta purusham param. We have to come to this tivra, pure Shuddha Bhakti stage. And when we come to Shuddha Bhakti stage, we get Krishna Prema. So, generally we think that only chanting gives us Krishna Prema. No. Chanting becomes incomplete without Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Because we actually don't know who we are chanting about. Because Bhagavatam will reveal to us so many aspects of Krishna's personality, Krishna's qualities. So unless we know Krishna, whose bhakti are we doing? Whose name are we calling every day? And of course, even after reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we will not even have any clue about Srimati Radharani. So we'll become a pure devotee, but we still have a long way to go because our goal is Madhurya Prema. And if you want Madhurya Prema, if we don't understand Srimati Radharani, then we cannot understand gopis, then we are nowhere. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam will bring us to a platform of at least clearly understanding and appreciating Krishna's position. Appreciating means what? That really we are so happy that, we are surrendered to Krishna because we understand Krishna. Then as we go towards the end of Bhagavatam, then we start hearing about Krishna's own pastimes. Krishna's pastimes, in Vrindavan, and the beautiful, Brajavasis, and all the different rasas we experience, we hear. Then slowly we will develop a mood of what mood do I have to serve Krishna? Mood do I want to serve Krishna? So I can serve Krishna, and I will talk about that in the third verse. Shanta or Dasya or Sakhya or Vatsalya or Madhurya, we will get attracted towards something. And that attraction doesn't come by without hearing. Of course, Krishna also says that, Dadami buddhi yogam tam esham satata yuktanam. One who is always continuously, completely, without any hypocrisy, without any cheating. He is actually, if one is engaged 24 hours in Krishna's service, day in and day out, Krishna will give him the intelligence. And what does that mean, intelligence? Not that he will make the devotee a software engineer. Not that intelligence, not that knowledge. How to achieve Krishna. That intelligence Krishna will give from within. But we might not be so dedicated, so committed, because we have work, we have responsibilities, we have this, we have that, so many things. So for all such devotees, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya is mandatory. It's mandatory. That is why when we start Bhagavatam, what do we starting prayers? What do we offer? It says Narayanam Namaskritya. First thing, before we can even, approach Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we have to offer humble obeisances to. We offer humble obeisances to Naranarayana Rishi. We offer humble obeisances to Srila Vyasadeva and to Devi Saraswati. And we pray for their mercy so that we can actually understand. Because we are fortunate, we are hearing from Parampara, but still we have a lot of kachara in our head, a lot of dirt. And the dirt, what it does, it comes in the way of our understanding, and it will make us interpret things wrongly. We hear something, but we understand something else. The same thing, 10 people in a class will be hearing the same thing from the speaker, but 10 people will end up with 10 different understandings. That is because of the contamination that is there within us. So we have to pray, saying that, of course, we pray to Srila Prabhupada, we pray to Guru. We need mercy. Without mercy, we cannot understand any of the scriptures. After offering those prayers, then we say, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Nityam Bhagavata. Now, what is the meaning of this word Nityam? Nityam in the beginning means daily, at least. If not anything more, at least daily. Now, Nityam, Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita actually explains what Nityam is. He says Nityam means daily. After that, repeatedly, then continuously. So we have to come from daily to continuously. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Who is the Bhagavata? Pustaka Bhagavata, Vyakti Bhagavata. Person Bhagavatam is who? He is normally for us, for the whole parampara system enables us to serve. When we serve Guru, we are actually directly serving that Vyakti Bhagavata. We can serve Srila Prabhupada also till we get initiated, and that is serving Vyakti Bhagavata. So we should understand what is the mood. What should I serve? How should I serve? Get guidance, follow those instructions, engage in service. But before that service, I was telling few devotees, sadhana is very, very important. Fix sadhana. Fix sadhana. Sadhana means what? First thing in the day. Prabhupada said, first in the list of priorities for devotee. First he said health. Very interestingly. Now, because if health is not there, nothing we can do. Okay, but in the surrendered mode, we should try to take care of our health. Next is chanting. First thing in the day is chanting. What time? Not at 6 o'clock, not at 7 o'clock, not at 8 o'clock. This is not for serious devotees. Serious devotees means 4:30, 5 o'clock. Somebody is attending Mangalarti, it might go from 5 to 5:45. But this is actually, sadhana early in the morning. Then at least we should read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita books for at least 1 hour. At least 1 hour. If you don't have that much time, we should start. We should start 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. Desired goal should be 1 hour at least. Then obviously no eating non-prasadam, and try to associate with devotees once in a week at least. And now this online association is not real association. It helps because there is Shravanam. But again, this Vyakti Bhagavata thing we don't get. When we're in the association with devotees, we will all our false ego, everything will die down. Everything will get smashed. So we should serve. We should physically be present and serve with the devotees. And of course, the advantage is, when we are preaching, other devotees, new people will look at us and our service mood, and they will also learn, oh, okay, this is how I need to serve. So we set an example also. At the same time, we follow instructions of our superiors. So we make tremendous progress when we make ourselves presence felt. This is only Shravanam. This is only Jnana. Online classes. Online is not necessarily service. So we should fix sadhana, and then we should come to seva, nityam bhagavata sevaya. So I should know how am I serving Srila Prabhupada on a daily basis. How many of us here are preaching? Preaching apart from our sadhana, we should preach every day. We should make it a habit to preach every day. How do we preach? Not that we have to have a class with hundreds of people sitting. By our action, we preach. People look at us. Okay, people who are living with us who might not be devotees, our colleagues look at us. People on the street look at us. We are preaching. We are representing Srila Prabhupada. Please understand this. Always don't let down Prabhupada. Don't let down Prabhupada. And every devotee, yes, before that, very important. Every devotee has to wear tilak. Has to wear tilak. Tilak on the forehead and then the rest of the other parts of the body. All devotees, there is no restriction for this. And especially those who are going out for work, you should make it a point to wear tilak. I know so many devotees who feel odd wearing tilak. That means that we are really not serious about spiritual life. And I hear a lot of devotees saying also, no, it's okay, you can wear water tilak and go. That means that we don't want to be associated with Prabhupada. We don't want to be associated with Krishna. We don't want to be associated openly with ISKCON. That means that we really don't have love. This is just, I have to wear tilak because I've been told, okay, let me wear water tilak and go. Those things are for, in Western countries, Muslim countries, etc., where there are so many restrictions, etc. Even in Western countries, I've seen a lot of our devotees just wear tilak and go to work. My own personal experience, my office people really liked it. They understood saying that this person is standing for something. He's, he has a character. He's trying to do something in his life, not like rest of us. So they used to respect. Give me space for my bhakti. These things are very important. It shows how much we are committed. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we have to know, how do I serve Guru? How do I serve Krishna? How do I commit myself? So preaching by action, preaching literal, actual preaching, you can do online, you can do offline, whatever it is, but speak about Krishna. Speak about Bhagavad Gita to people. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then we also hear from enlightened souls. When we are reading is also part of hearing. And then we also have hearing, which is, we can hear lectures, etc. But we should also read. Don't replace hearing with reading. As in, we stop reading and we only say, okay, I'm going to only keep hearing lectures. No, we should read. Mandatory, we should read. Because hearing, what will happen? We'll hear from here. It goes from the other side. And I tell all classes where I take, please make notes. Mataji here is sitting and making notes on her mobile. Something, whatever. But don't think that, my mind, I'm so much of brain power, I'm going to remember all this. I myself will not remember so many things. I'll show my notes. Why I'm saying I myself? Because I have to preach. When I have to preach, I have to remember so many things. but I can't remember anything unless I write down. I have like in, I am my cupboard here where there are tens of books I've written. Physically, I've written notes for so many years. Now all of that is digital. If you don't make notes, we are not going to remember anything. Please understand. There's some exceptional devotees who will just hear once and just remember. But most of us, we have to put some effort. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, what will happen if you do this? Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. This is called Nishtha. Naistiki means Nishtha Bhakti. So we will also discuss some of these things as we go along in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So many new topics we might discuss, Adav Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivrutti, then Nishtha. So when initially we have Komala Shraddha, we have very lukewarm Shraddha. We don't have really full faith in Krishna. We don't have full faith in the process. We don't have full faith in devotees. We have Komala Shraddha, very, it can easily be squashed. So that kind of Shraddha, not very strong. But that Shraddha will bring us to devotees. Sadhu Sangha, it brings us in the association of devotees. And then Bhajana Kriya, then through devotees guidance, then we slowly come to the platform of initiation. And this also I tell, please get initiated knowing whom you are getting initiated from. Don't blindly just accept anybody. I mostly see this, person whom is preaching to me is a disciple of this guru, so I'm going to become this. Now, this is okay for people who can't read, who can't write, who can't understand. For those people, this is okay. Not for people who are hearing. I mean, I encourage. I don't say that people have to become disciples of my Guru Maharaj because I am preaching. But I say you have to hear, you have to understand. You hear and decide. But we have to come to the stage of Diksha. And Diksha is not sentimental. I like this person so much. Why? Some vague reason. He looks nice, or he speaks nicely, or he moves nicely, or something, some external reasons. No, this is not good enough for us to take Diksha. We should understand the person. We should understand his mood. We should understand how he is serving Prabhupada. We should understand if I can serve Prabhupada in the same mood. Then we decide, okay, this person I am going to take Diksha. So after that, Bhajana Kriya literally actually starts after initiation. Now what we are doing before initiation, we are just preparing for Bhajana Kriya. And then what starts happening? Then Anartha Nivrutti starts. Meaning all the unwanted things in our heart slowly start getting cleaned. Now, please understand this Anartha Nivrutti is not like a fixed state. It's not like stage 1, stage 2. Anartha Nivrutti goes on till Bhava. Meaning Anarthas go on till the stage of Bhava. So, but what we should do is in Anartha, initially, after we start Bhajana Kriya, our bhakti is Anishta. Anishta, meaning not committed. One day we are full Josh. I'm going to get up for Mangalarti tomorrow. After that, push. One day jump, then next day down. Next day, not like this. This is Anishtha Bhakti. So first thing we have to focus is we have to bring our bhakti to Nishtha. Nishtha means, okay, I'm doing 8 rounds, no problem. I'll do 8 rounds every day. That doesn't mean that we have to do 8 rounds. I'm just giving an example. If you're doing 16 rounds, we do 16 rounds every day. Not that suddenly one day I do 40 rounds, next day 30, next day 8, not like this. Right? I get up in the morning, unless there are health problems, etc. I get up in the morning, I get up at whatever time. If I get up at 4 o'clock, I get up at 4 o'clock. If I get up at 4:30, I get up at 4:30. Now, this is also important. Don't punish your body. Body is a device. It requires to be maintained for a long time, for this whole duration, so that we can perform bhakti nicely throughout our life. We don't do T20 and then suddenly, let's say, no, full Josh. Now today I'm going to only sleep 3 hours or 4 hours. Body will die. Body will crumble. Okay, give it the required rest. Know your limitations, but don't be lazy, but know your limitations. How will you know your limitations? Suppose I get up and then I'm either I get up very early. Then one indication is I feel sleepy in the afternoon. That means that I've not got enough sleep. But I might not feel sleepy, but I'm falling sick every now and then. That means my body is not happy. Something I'm not taking care, or I feel tired. Now, all these are indications that body is not being respected. We have to take care of that. So, but so not like one day 4 o'clock, next day 6:30, next day something else. Not like that. Chanting means morning, not like one day 4:30, next day 9 o'clock I start chanting, next day something else. No, it's all anishta. 1 week I go to the temple, next 3 weeks I say no, I'm had enough. Let me go. So these are all anishta bhakti, anishtha. There is no nishtha in this, no commitment, no fix. We should be fixed in our bhakti. So if we do Nityam Bhagavata Seva, what happens? Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Our bhakti becomes fixed. And we have to become fixed in our bhakti. Because why? Because we read Bhagavad Gita and we've come to the conclusion that I have to surrender to Krishna, I have to serve Krishna. That is bhakti. So if we have to do bhakti, we have to do Nishtha Bhakti. Now even in Nishtha Bhakti, there will be anarthas. It's not like anarthas have gone, but we have become fixed in our sadhana. Seva, whatever commitment we take, we do it properly, pakka. This is nishtha. Actually, and then when we start first chapter of Bhagavatam, then we will understand. Sadyo hrutyavarutyate trikrtibhi tushushibis tatkshanat. Oh, years Bhagavatam, sadyo, immediately Krishna becomes fixed in the heart of the devotee. So actually, we can achieve Krishna prema. Okay, so this is the mood in which we have to enter Bhagavatam. So that is why I said, this hearing Śrīmad Bhagavatam is not like some story I heard. Okay, I remember some of these were pastimes, this was philosophy. No, it's a way of life, right? We have to change our mood approach to Krishna consciousness. And in that mood, we have to enter Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So now I'll just read from one verse from the 12th canto. Last chapter, 13th chapter, which is a beautiful, it's a beautiful description of, I'm going to share this. 12, 13, 18. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Purāṇamamalam Yat Vaishnavānām Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsyamekamalam Gnānam Param Gīyate Tatra Gnāna Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam Tachunvansu Pathan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimucchen Naraha. Translation. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the spotless Purana. Why spotless Purana? That means other Puranas are not spotless. In the one sense, yes, because other Puranas talk about other demigods. Bhagavatam doesn't talk about any other demigods. Bhagavatam is fully focused on glorifying the Supreme Lord. So that is why it is called spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas. Why? Because it describes pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. Now the Paramahamsas means what the Paramahamsas want or what the Paramahamsas seek. That pure and supreme knowledge Śrīmad Bhagavatam gives. So that is why it is very dear to Vaishnavas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from material work. Free from material work. Like I said, it's not that we stop working, but we stop enjoying mentality. We offer the results to Krishna with love and affection. Together with the process of transcendental knowledge, because we have to understand who Krishna is, we have to understand how powerful he is, we have to understand ourselves, we have to understand our relationship with Krishna. All this becomes possible in Śrīmad Bhagavatam. And not only that, renunciation and finally devotion. Because it reveals all this. Anyone who seriously, so this is very, very important. So this is not some casual time pass work, seriously tries to understand. Now one might ask, what does this seriously means? Seriously means, see, first thing is that we should, like I said, we should not offer interpretations to Bhagavatam. We hear something, then we have our own interpretation. See, how do we understand Shastra? We have to understand Shastra from Sadhu, Guru. So Prabhupada for us is Shiksha Guru. He's given all these purports, beautiful purports. And of course, then there are our previous acharyas also. Anything, our understanding should be wholly and solely based on whatever acharyas have written, either Srila Prabhupada or, our Guru or Srila Prabhupada. Guru also, when I say Guru, it has to be in alignment with Sadhu and Shastra. So I'm not saying Guru, while Guru is automatically included in Sadhu, right? So for us specifically in ISKCON, Prabhupada is the, like he is the one who is giving us all the Shiksha. So we should have understood everything Prabhupada is written. Now, one single topic in Bhagavad, in scriptures, right? We cannot just read one section or one verse and determine the complete understanding of that. Because Prabhupada, based on the context, would have written, differently on the same topic in different verses across Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you want to seriously understand, we have to read all this, we have to study all this, not read. Read means I read and now I'm sleepy. Okay, something before reading, they would say, oh, this Prabhu keeps eating my head. He says I have to read at least for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm just dozing off and I read. That's not going to help. Neither, okay, I'm serious, I'm reading, but devotees are saying, I read and then I keep forgetting. I read, I keep forgetting. Then make notes. So this is serious. You are serious about understanding the subject matter. And sometimes we don't understand some things. What does a serious student do? He goes and asks the teacher. So we have to clarify our doubts. We have to read, try to understand, not interpret. The difference between interpretation and understanding is, interpret is that we are bringing our own some external thought process. How we can differentiate interpretation and understanding, we'll know. I discussed this when we started Bhagavad Gita. Our thought process should always be based on what statements that Prabhupada has given, right? And if we are pure inside, see, that is why simplicity is a very important characteristic. If we are crooked inside, we'll understand the statement in a crooked way. If we are simple inside, we'll understand the statement in a simple way. If we are complicated, crooked, we do associate with those devotees who are simple. So this is very important, and this is seriously trying to understand Bhagavatam. So anyone who seriously tries to understand, who properly hears. Again, properly hears means it comes from one ear, goes inside, goes to the heart. It is not a ear business, it is a heart business. Change of heart has to happen. One who properly hears and chants it with devotion, he becomes completely liberated. Now we understand that we are not behind this Sayudhya Mukti. Our complete liberation means that we are 100% engaged in loving devotional service to Krishna. This is our complete liberation, right? So this is why this Purana is so dear. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, said this is spotless Purana. You have to, he quoted this many times. As in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never used to, so many cases are there, right? Where scholars, he never wanted to hear, once when devotee Devananda Pandit, he actually offends Srivas Thakur and becomes very angry. He says, like, you have no understanding of Bhagavatam, he says. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. You're simply blabbering something nonsense. You have no understanding of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So we should understand this. It is not by our knowledge we understand Śrīmad Bhagavatam. It is by the mood of surrender, by the mood of seva, we can begin to understand Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Okay. So with this introduction, we will close today. We will start tomorrow at 8 a.m. Those who can attend, can please attend. We will start with verse 1.1.1. Please read the full purport. It won't take much time. It will take possibly 15-20 minutes. Read the full purport so that we can have a nice lively discussion. I would like to see, I'm saying like I have an upper hand here, but because I am engaged in the service, I'm saying I would like to see, because you would like to see devotees having read, come and asking questions, getting clarifications, because we're not going to read line by line like we did Bhagavad Gita, because it's huge, right? We're not going to finish. But few verses we will read line by line. But still, some of these verses I will tell in advance, and you should read these. Come up with questions. When you read, some things you would have understood, some things you already have heard, and then you are not clear. You clarify those, discuss, ask questions. Bhagavatam means we discuss amongst devotees. This is Shravanam. This is the actually mode of proper Shravanam. So 8 o'clock, can all please attend, read, and Krishna willing, we'll see all of you tomorrow. So we'll end today's discussion here. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnavandi ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If anybody has anything to say, you can please feel free.